What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jumpman Crypto. So last year in September, we did a video on how to invest $500 and turn it into $2,000. And unfortunately, I think we all knew what happened in October. Things didn't really play out that way. Now, ever since then, guys, the markets have been really crazy. I know a lot of people seem to be very lost and confused about what's happening in this market. I think we've all had time to kind of collect ourselves and kind of come to the conclusion that these markets are potentially probably in a bear market. So now that things are pretty much really not much going on in these markets, I feel like this is a great time for me to go back, hit the reset button, go back and try to go back to what the fundamentals of this series was supposed to be, was helping people navigate themselves through this crazy market, find good narratives, and learn how to invest in crypto. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking crypto's a scam, and they probably even fully exited, which I hope you didn't. But guys, look, I think that eventually in the next 5 to 6 months, things will begin to turn around. And I do want to start cementing myself and being more consistent with videos that help newer investors out navigate through these crazy, crazy markets to help you find peace and understanding on how to invest properly. Now, guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Even though I may look like one and I don't talk like one because I never edit my videos, I try to just keep it real and just let you guys know what I'm doing. So if that sounds good to you guys and you want to come along with the journey and help me grow, I want to try to get to 2,000 subs by the summertime. Let's come along. Make sure to leave me some love in the comment sections and continue to let me know about things that I can do better for I can grow with you. So if that sounds good, like I always say, let's get into this. So first things first, guys, we need to find a place where we can blueprint and look at all these altcoins. We have a budget of $1,000, okay? So we don't want to come up with something too crazy that the most average person can't come up with. I know a lot of people are struggling right now. Things are crazy. A lot of people are going through a lot of financial hardships, guys. So, I think $1,000 is realistic right now. And the goal is to take this $1,000 and stretch it out as best as possible. Now, look, I'm not saying we're going to make $10,000. Hey, anything's possible in crypto. But for right now, we're trying to make the most money as possible, okay? So let's look up CoinGecko. CoinMarketCap's good, but CoinGecko has a little bit more of the things that we need. Okay, so we're going to go down here to categories, and we're going to look for specific narratives that I think will be popping in the next few months, okay? So I think right now meme tokens are going to be kind of like hit and miss. If you guys saw a couple weeks ago, we had Pepe and a few other things go up 30-40%. It's nearly almost impossible to time these kind of situations. The markets can reverse on a dime, and it's just a matter of, hey, if you're in it, you're in it. If you're not, you're not. So right now, I still believe that layer ones, some proof of work tokens, and even RWAs and DeFi tokens are going to be your best narratives. There's going to be all different kind of coins that people are going to shill out to you, but it's always best to stick with the leaders and try to stick with coins that are obviously still showing strength against Bitcoin. All right, so let's start off first with AI tokens, okay? Now, a few weeks ago, we talked about this coin in the Discord. It was Tau. Okay, now Tau obviously has been doing really well, and it's currently at 280. We were buying it all the way down here, guys, when we dipped down here. Let's go back over here on the monthly chart. We got in under here around 220. So when everybody was like, freaking out, we were buying it down here. It's at 280. Now, they have a lot of stuff going out for them. They are, ETF filing with Grayscale. And in my opinion, they're probably far above a lot of these other AI coins. So I believe that if you guys are looking for a good, solid, blue chip AI token, obviously I'm going to have to put Tau at the very top. Next, you could probably put Render or maybe AIOZ, but those two, it's you're just kind of gambling at that point. AIOZ is going to be obviously high risk, high reward. Nothing wrong with that. But I think if you're just trying to get, maybe 100%, maybe 150% return, Tau is going to be the way to go. Okay. Another altcoin that I want to talk to you guys about is going to be in the RWA sector. Let's go back to categories real quick. Let's scroll down here. and it's going to be Ondo. Okay, now we have a lot of different coins that are in the RWA sector. We have Quant, Chainlink, Algo, Ondo, AVAX, Plume. But honestly, guys, there's no other coin that sticks out like a sore thumb more than Ondo. Ondo was at an all-time high around $2. Current price is 40 cents. We can come back down here to 20 cents. If something bad were to happen, that's about maybe a 50% haircut from current price. But we have potentially, 500% upside potential. So look, the risk to reward is kind of there in my opinion. You're risking 50% to make 500. This market is about risk to reward. You can always use a stop loss. But guys, again, Ondo is still a BlackRock institutional altcoin that's still very much talked about. So, I do like Chainlink, but just remember, guys, if you got to look at the market caps. You're comparing, a $1.2 billion market cap to, I think Chainlink probably will be maybe around 15 to 12 billion market cap. Let's double check this real quick because we want to come with receipts here. So market cap 9 billion. Okay, so there's it's almost 9x from its current price. So that's a lot in crypto land. All right, so in my opinion, Chainlink is great, but if you guys are looking for the max potential, Ondo is going to be definitely the one that I would choose with that one. Okay, so now we pretty much got an RWA, and then we got an AI token. All right, now the next thing that we need to look for is we need to look for the next hottest narrative, and in my opinion, that's going to be DeFi. Okay, so we got a lot to choose from as far as DeFi. We have Hyperliquid, Uniswap, Aave, Athena, Aster, Jupe, Say token, Morpho, you name it, guys. But look, another coin that I still think that's going to be very much slept on is going to be Aerodrome Finance. We've talked about it so much, guys. Look, we recently in the last, I think, 7 days, we had a 20% run up. So we were back down here around this 50 cents. And then when we started getting a little bit bullish, remember we had a 20%, 30% pump on Aerodrome. And we have an all-time high around, 250? So this is another coin just like Ondo Finance. I don't think that maybe it'll go back to its all-time high, but it's fair enough that we can expect maybe it can go back to $1.50, maybe even $1. And if you guys don't know what Aerodrome is, it's the number one base, DeFi token on there. And we've already seen, Brian Armstrong and a lot of, people that are base heads. It's kind of funny, right? Base heads, they've still circled around Aerodrome as, the holy grail of all, DeFi. So, like I said, Coinbase, they're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff, with their launch pads and stuff like that. And Aerodrome is leading on base. So I'm very much positive that, Coinbase is still going to be buying Aerodrome and this token's still going to be doing well in the future. So, if we have $1,000 limit, I'd recommend starting between, you can do 250, 250, 250 and keep 250 cash, or you can do 333 and keep 100 cash. You can divvy up this however you choose. But out of these three different narratives, I would choose one that you're most convicted on. So you can say, hey, look, you know what? Out of these three, I'm going to go with 500 with DeFi, and then I'm going to go with maybe 250 RWA and 250 with AI. Or you can just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to just do two tokens and maybe do 500, 300, and then leave 200 with just dry capital. But the main key focus point that I have to emphasize for you guys is that if you're not going to be able to allocate into this $1,000 on a regular basis, then you need to have dry powder, which means dry capital, cash to invest. A lot of times people get messed up in this space is because, they have maybe $4,000 or $5,000 and they put the whole amount. Guys, you need to make sure that whenever you buy assets, that you need to leave yourself a cash reserve. So you should be buying anywhere between, 3 to 5%, or, anywhere between 1 to 3%, I'm sorry. And then maybe on heavier pullbacks, maybe 5 to 10%. But try to make sure that you guys make DCAs as calculated as possible. You don't want to waste up all your money. And this is where keeping a very low profile portfolio is going to come in clutch. I've seen a lot of people, they have like 10 or 15 coins. That's way too hard to manage. If you keep it nice and simple between, 1 to 3 coins, maybe 5 tops, it's going to be a lot more easier to manage. So, like in my opinion, guys, if I was building a $1,000 portfolio, I would probably stick with DeFi and maybe RWAs. Now, I do like AI, but, a lot of people are saying that we're in this AI bubble, which I don't think that's true. But I think that, AI, if there's a lot better plays out there on the stock market than in my opinion, Tau. So I would stick with RWA, which would be, Ondo Finance, or you could stick with maybe Algo. And then you could, stick with Aerodrome or maybe Uniswap. And just for you guys to know that Algo actually has more tokenized assets under its management than any other cryptocurrency. So, I don't really see a lot of people talk about Algorand a lot. That's another altcoin, guys, that you should really be keeping on the radar. But, in this space, the less, the better, the simpler, the easier. So, at the end of the day, guys, look, the whole object of this game is to make sure that you guys understand narratives and understand what you're doing in this space. So look, I'm happy to always come out here and give you guys some great advice. This is obviously going to be a shorter video, but like I said, I just wanted to come out here and help you guys look at a few altcoins. Maybe you guys need help, or this is, somebody's first time getting into cryptocurrency. You can share this video out to them, and hopefully this can help them out. Okay, guys? So again, we're going to try to do these little small series here and there. I'll look for different layer ones next time, and then we'll come out here and we'll share them out. This is going to be for, people that are new for crypto. So, like I said, this will be definitely helpful for me if you can share this with friends and family, okay? You guys have a blessed day. We will talk soon. Jumpman out.